I'm gonna find out if I should have hired this done or if it was okay to do it myself. So this is a big job. As you can see, the driveway is really big. I've cleaned it off with mostly with a blower, an electric blower, and I didn't really have any oil spots. I've got some cracks, but hopefully this stuff will fill it in. I know you're supposed to fill the cracks before putting this on, but I can always fill them later too, I think. But I know they say 1 or 2 coats. I'm planning on doing just 1 coat. And this is the stuff I got. It's the Seal Best from Menards, 800. And they have these different levels, different prices of this sealer. They have 100, 200, 400, 800, which is what I have, and they got 1,000. And the 100 is guaranteed for a year, the 200 is guaranteed for 2, the 400 is guaranteed for 4 years, the 800, which is what I have, is guaranteed for 8 years, and the 1,000 is guaranteed for 10. So the first time I went to Menards to ask some questions about this, the guy seemed pretty knowledgeable, and he said mostly what they sell is the 200 and 400. So I was thinking, well, I'm going to probably buy the 400. So I went back a few days later to buy the stuff, and another guy there said, whatever you do, don't buy the 100, the 200, or the 400. He said, and I said, well, why? The other guy told me 200 and 400 is what you sell mostly. So he said, well, in Minnesota, in central Minnesota where we're at, the weather's really harsh, and you shouldn't buy that other stuff. So I don't know. So I bought the 800. It was just a few dollars more per pail. I've got a big driveway. Hopefully I've estimated this right, about 12 pails. We'll see what happens. So it seems like it's pretty stirred up already, so it doesn't seem bad. Okay. So I'm gonna start. See what happens. Just start with that. See how it goes. So the edging, I know we don't want to get it on the pavers, so I might have to go back later and get use a smaller squeegee or brush or something and get really close to the edge. A friend of mine was doing this the other day, and he was using the brush, but it seems like it's covering okay with the squeegee side. And I think that would be quicker with the squeegee side. So seems like it's going all right so far. Covering pretty good. Now, one other thing is I waited for a day when the temperature was going to stay above 60 degrees for 24 hours, which is what they recommended. So it's supposed to stay above 60 degrees tonight, so hopefully everything will go okay. All right, I'll check back with you a little later.
Okay, while you're doing this, I'm going to go make you some hibiscus sun tea, so you have a refreshing drink when you take your break.
Oh, that would be great. I'll need it. Okay, so it's going pretty well. Figured out a few tricks. One thing is these brooms you get from Menards are pretty cheap, and they'll break right down here. So I added this metal bracket here. This is the second one I'm on. The first one broke. It broke right in where it screws in. So that's something to keep in mind. And another thing I learned is that I started out with just doing the squeegee, but what works best is if you start like here. Now I've got start with the brush or the broom side when you have a lot of it to push around, and it makes it real easy to even it out like this. And then when you get it mostly spread out, then you take the squeegy side, and that gives you a smoother finish. So it looks better. So it goes like this. And then you just work your way back and forth. And of course you wanna go back and forth so you can reach what you're doing, so you don't have to walk in it. So keep that in mind. So it works best, I think, to go back and forth this way. See how it works? If you, so I think this stuff's working pretty well, and it's covering pretty well. I might be a little short, but I might have enough.
How many buckets have you gone through now?
I've gone through a little over half of the 12.
Oh.
And I think I'm half done or more, maybe a little more than half done.
It's looking really nice.
Yeah, good. And then so it does dry, you know, fairly quick. So you can see up there where it's kind of dry. It's probably not dry enough to walk on, but it's been in the sun there. But it's nice to not walk in it, because then you won't track it around and stuff. On the edges, I like to use a broom because you can control it better and it's easier to get to close spots on the edges like that. See, and then you can see how it's kind of rough. So then I'll just take the squeegee side and smooth it out. The biggest thing you want to try to do is, you know, don't leave any of these ridges, you know, so you don't have those. Sometimes you gotta kind of move around depending on the lighting to be able to see, because you don't always spot them. Like here, I didn't really see that, but from this angle I can see it. Just push that out, and then I can go back and smooth it out again as well. But the big thing is to go back and forth, like I've been doing here. And like I said, I start out with spreading it out with the brush, because it's really easy to just push it like this. That spreads it out. Plus it probably fills in better too, if you've got a rough area, rough surface and stuff. And then I take the squeegee and you drag it. Yeah. Go back and forth a few times, and it really doesn't take that long once you get the hang of it. So, and here we are at the edge again, where it's kind of rough. So, with that. So, hopefully this will turn out and last 8 years like it's supposed to. Okay, so just to demonstrate how to put this on, just pour a little bit pretty close to where you left off, like this. And what I do is start with the broom side. You don't want to go too far this way, because you want to still be able to reach it, you know, over there, so you can smooth it out. Okay, my broom broke, so I'm having a little trouble here. So spread it out with probably a couple broom widths wide.
I think I noticed you had another broom in the car.
Yeah, I bought another extra one just in case this one broke, which it just did. But it's still working, so since I put that little metal brace on it, now it pivots actually. So
Is that good or bad?
Maybe that's even better. As long as it hangs on, then we're good. See this? And then this crack here, I probably should have filled it. It has been filled, but I probably should have filled it to the top. But I figure I can do it later too. So I know you're supposed to do it before you do this, but I just wanted to get this big job done first. So I went over it with the broom. Now I want to smooth it out. So squeegy side actually just works better with the growth because I can reach further because it angles. See if it hangs on. When I hit, if I have rocks in there, it's kind of rough. There's some pebbles in there that I should have cleaned off. That kind of messes you up, keeps you from getting it smooth. So I probably should sweep the rest of this off again before I finish it, or blow it with that blower. Let's get all those little rocks off of there. But it's going pretty well overall though. So anyway, that's how it goes. And if you want to see, kind of look up there, it's looking pretty good. How it looks in a year or two. Hopefully it'll last 8 years.
So what do you do with that crack?
Well, it'll just get filled in like this here, you know, with this stuff. But you're supposed to use crack filler, you know, but I can always do that anytime though. But I suppose it looks a little better if you fill it to the top first and then put this stuff on. But as long as it's filled so moisture can't get in it, then it should be okay.
So you're going to put extra in there? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like here, it's filled it up with this stuff already.
Yeah.
Plus, I already had stuff in there. I had used shingle stick actually, which works too. But you know, they make sealer for cracks, so you can buy that. So anyway, that's kind of how it goes.